Hi, my name is Rowan,
My name is Neil.
And my name's Vishawn.
and today we're going to be talking about
The
the Garbage Man's Daughter. To begin, the short story, The Garbage Man's Daughter, talks about a young girl named Dory who is infatuated by facts, that goes on an adventure to find the balance of spirituality and reality. In this short story, it is shown that the presence of a father figure in one's life greatly influences the perception of the world around them. We see this from the Garbage Man's and William's influence on Dory's social interaction skills, her ritualized life, and her self-validation. Hey, Neil, how do you think the Garbage Man and William influence Dory's ritualized life?
Well, funny you ask, Rowan. Father figures in Dory's life helped create Dory's highly ritualized day-to-day life. William has some very ritualized events that take place during his normal day. His routine of watching Dan Rather's nightly news influenced Dory greatly from a young age. Dory tells of how she remembers being impressed by Rather and using basing some of her mannerisms off Rather. This routine of watching the evening news that William exposed Dory to instilled a love of factual news from Dan Rather that would occur every night. This routine is something Dory and William both find comfort in. After Dory's third night of saying controversial things at the dinner table, a big disagreement happens between Esther and William. Dory wasn't expecting a reaction like that. The fight went unresolved, and William got himself out of the situation by saying the evening news was about to start. Dory soon joined him. This shows the comfort factor of this ritual. After a big fight, which clearly never happens in their family, both Dory and William decided to unwind and get out of the situation by entering into their comfort zone, which is found in the evening news. On top of this, the Garbage Man also has a very ritualized life, especially when it comes to his work. He arrives at Dory's house every Tuesday very early in the morning. Since Dory is already a person who finds comfort in rituals, thanks to her dad, the Garbage Man's weekly pickups is something that Dory takes a sheen to. The Garbage Man is a magical being in Dory's imagination and is also a father figure in her life. Because she sees him in such a way, she becomes very influenced by him. Dory observes his schedule and routine, and for weeks, in return, becomes more ritualized in this time. She begins wrapping up the garbage methodically every night, thus resulting in another highly ritualized event in her life, inspired by a father figure. So, Vishawn, what do you think Dory's father figures have taught her?
Well, with the point you mentioned, Dory's sense of a father figure has a juxtaposition. With William, her biological father, they have a sort of materialistic relationship, if you may. Dory has been spoiled ever since she was a little girl. Anything she wanted, she got. Asked, and she received. Thing is, she never asked for affection or confirmation regarding her feelings because she was basically robotic, kept together by the absolute solidarity of facts. She never asked for validation about the fact that her parents loved her. If anything, she believed the opposite, hence why she stated that she was the assassin of her parents' love. The juxtaposition I mentioned earlier was the way that she viewed her relationship with William and the way she interacted with him versus the whole concept of the Garbage Man. Just the thoughts that she had of the G-Man made her more excited than anything ever before. Dory thought of the G-Man as more than just a father figure. She idolized him in a way a follower of God would. She idolized him in a way that a follower would of God himself. Dory deeply revered a man she barely even knew more than her own father. And with that in mind, I believe this whole thought of wanting a father figure never resonated personally with Dory, but rather it was what her conscience was urging for.
Very interesting point.
Yes.
Very interesting indeed.
Yeah, thank you guys.
So Rohan, what do you think about father figures?
I'm glad you asked. I believe the presence of a father figure in one's life dramatically influences their perception of the world around them. This is demonstrated in Dory's social interaction skills. We see early on in the story that Dory was not as open and as social with other kids her age as she was with her parents. In the story, she quotes, "Soon I was just playing with not just a gyroscope, but with science kits, microscopes, chemistry sets, power tools, and at the same time, spurning stuffed animals, dolls, playhouses, commercial toys, and every kid in the neighborhood who would not spurn the same." She also never likes to mention her true emotions and keeps her emotions and true feelings to herself. In the story, she also quotes, "By the time I was 6, gyroscope, CBS News, lab rats, facts, and physics were all I would allow myself to combat every misery, mystery, and fear that life on earth had to offer." This shows how she can convey such a thorough self-analysis to the reader, but neglects to tell her parents how she really feels. It's almost as if she lacks confidence to open up to others on an emotional level, or any level in general if you don't know her. The lack of confidence most likely comes from her dad. This lack of confidence is also apparent when William, her father, is in the midst of conversation too. As mentioned in the story, when William was fighting with Esther about Dory bringing up sensitive topics such as rape and murder, he blurts out ties of sarcasm and unfiltered comments and immediately takes it back by saying, "Excuse me, the news is starting," as he slides back his chair and literally staggers from the next room. This shows the ongoing lack in confidence socially that William faces with has restricted him to make amends with others, especially his wife. To summarize, these points show the similarities between Dory and her father socially, and if there's a lack of interest that is not beneficial to Dory or William, they use neglect and self-isolation as a self-defense mechanism to others' perspectives as a byproduct of their lack in confidence socially. This further proves William's influence on Dory's social skills, which has grown her to develop into the self-isolated child she is around her fellow peers, which of course are children. Yeah. And now a word from our sponsors.
Head, no, shoulders.
You ever tried to get that ideal, long, luscious locks on the top of your head? Well, look no further than Head No Shoulders. Our premium hair products will give you that Prince Charming look you've wanted for the longest time.
With our special hair growth technology, we can provide 3 to 4 inches within 2 weeks of using our product.
Wow, 3 to 4 inches? That's crazy.
Wowzers!
Amazing! Wow. With our product as well, if you buy now, you will also get 2 luxury hair combs made out of Indonesian pine trees.
Indonesian pine trees? Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
Buy now or don't buy.
Let's be real for a sec. How do you feel that your parents have influenced you as a kid while growing up?
I'll go first.
Oh, okay.
Well, my dad, I think I remember being around 4 or 5 and my dad signed me up for soccer. And that's been like a really big part of my life ever since. I remember not liking soccer at first and crying before going to games and stuff because I hated it so much. But now, after like 12 plus years of playing it, it's one of my favorite hobbies. And it wouldn't be, without my dad doing that for me,
Yeah.
just wouldn't have had it, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and I can also like kind of relate, actually not kind of, heavily relate, just in the sense that like, you know, my dad was, you know, trying to see what works for me, both sports-wise and even, you know, just like instrument-wise. He's just trying to like help me find my identity. You know, he was there to guide me. He was the one that helped me find who I am today, or at least, you know, introduce me to what I thought I was going to become.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
with that sports ideology in mind, he literally guided me through baseball, which I kind of stuck with for a couple of years, but dropped because, you know, big kid running around wasn't that big on that. Then I switched a little bit over to soccer. Also didn't like running in that. So then I came back all the way around to football, which I completely ignored at first, but realized this is my calling. I enjoyed hitting people. It was fun, you know. I got to hit people for no remorse for their health, and these are little kids too. So I was huge. It was fun, and I really loved my dad for it. Even though I would also, you know, try to make a fuss about going to practice because I'm not feeling good or just too lazy, or, you know, I'd cry maybe before a game or two just because I was just not feeling it, man. Sunday morning, Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Like, nobody wants to be up that early, but it's growing on me. Football, it's become a part of me. It's literally flowing through my veins, and it's because my dad was there to help me guide me through it. He's my biggest fan and my worst critic.
Yeah. I think we say our like parents our fathers influence us in like many positive ways, but I think for me, my father influenced me in the way as him not being a social person really, and being the type of person where it's like if I don't need to talk, then I won't talk in a social situation. Kind of showed how the opportunities he got in life, kind of just being around others compared to like other people who admired in my life and idolized as like parental figures.
Yeah.
And how the opportunities they got by just being social and asking. I remember a big influence in my life, my grandpa, he wouldn't get to where he was today without being open with others that were within his community being an immigrant. Because without those social connections that he had with other immigrants, he wouldn't be able to start his real estate company that he had to grow, to build a future for myself. So I'm really lucky for that. And even with like my father's, like I said, just tying back to my father's influence, yeah, just seeing his kind of, not exactly mistakes, but things he's not exactly good at, and seeing how it's benefited things like my grandpa and my uncles, other family members who I idolize very much, showed how being sociable can really make you like an outgoing person, you know?
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
I'm really lucky for that, and it's like you said, you learn more from mistakes than you really do the successes.
100%.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, is there anything else you guys want to add, or
No.
should we wrap it up? Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think all in all, it's pretty safe to assume that a father figure plays a big role in the development and perspective people, especially young children, create and develop on the world around them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more with that, honestly.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Well, I have a very important business call to get to. I need to go. I think you guys must have business calls as well.
Yeah, obviously.
All right. Pow. Ciao. Pow chow. Ciao.
Ciao.